Alright, so it's that time of the season. The previous season is now coming to a close, so we're going to take a look at the upcoming anime chart and go over what I'm interested in watching. And with that phrase, watching, I do want to make a quick mention. The past couple of these videos, there's been somehow confusion with some people that this is what I'm going to review, and then people are like, hey, why didn't you review the thing you said you're going to be reviewing? This isn't a what will I review. You'll know what I review when I make videos, because it's impossible to know for sure what I'm going to like until I watch it. This is just the initial impressions, what am I considering watching, and then we go from here. So I just want to make a mention of that, so hopefully that's going to be enough of those comments being like, hey, you promised to review and then I didn't review. It's like, no, I never promised that at all. So let's take a look at the chart though and see what's going to go on. First up, we have Overlord Season 4. Now, when this video goes up over the next few days, you're going to see a few different videos pop up, one of which is my video on Overlord Seasons 1 through 3, as I just recently did a binge. So I'm excited to see Bone Daddy Irons and all the shit that's going to go on, because watching those 3 seasons in a binge really has me eager to see where this story will go, given the hype I've heard just with how the story gets better as it goes on. Another one of the videos that you'll be seeing is Devil's a Part-Timer, as I just recently rebinged that as well. And Devil's a Part-Timer is one of those shows that, man, just among my own, like, circle of friends here, like, we never thought we would see more. And even though I believe the ending of the light novels is a little controversial from what I've seen on just general Twitter, Reddit, things like that, I'm excited to see more Devil's a Part-Timer. I think it's one of the most, like, quality productions that anime's seen, and even 10 years later still holds up quite well, so you know I'm going to be excited for that. We also have Made in Abyss, which Season 2 is dropping. The last of the 3 videos you'll be seeing over this next week here is the movie review that I'm going to be dropping, or just movie discussion, I guess is what I could call it, as you do need to watch the movie before you can watch Season 2, as it is canon, right? And honestly, just with what that movie sets in motion, and even hearing how it's going to get even darker from there with Season 2, just sounds like the anime community ain't ready, and I mean, the anime community wasn't ready when Season 1 dropped, so it's just going to get wilder and crazier from here, and you know I'm going to be up here talking about it week by week. Classroom of the Elite Season 2 is happening, something I never thought would happen. You know, eventually you lose hope after a few years of not getting any news, and Classroom of the Elite I thought was a very fun watch week by week, and I imagine Season 2 is just going to carry on with that. I mean, if there's anything based on Season 1 that they need to forget about, they'll do so. I've seen exactly that with Blue Exorcist doing such when it came back with Season 2, just ignoring the original or the changes, so we'll see where that goes, but Classroom of the Elite is definitely going to be a must-watch in my opinion, so we'll see where it goes. So Dr. Stone is having a 1-episode special that is going to serve as the bridge between the last season and the latest season coming up. I think it airs next year somewhere in there, I think maybe winter. I actually thought the new season of Dr. Stone was airing this season. I was really excited, as Dr. Stone, one of my new favorite shows that has been releasing, but no, it's just a 1-episode, I think it's like an hour special or something, and I mean, new Dr. Stone's always going to be welcomed, and I do plan on covering that when it does drop, just because it is a single episode, but I mean, yes, we all need to watch that because Dr. Stone's great, and more Dr. Stone is always welcome. DanMachi is returning for, I think it's Season 4 we're up to at this point, and I think rumors are saying that it's going to be a 2-core back-to-back season, which is no surprise, as it does feel like JC staff is going to make DanMachi their bread and butter, their main series they focus on, or at least that's how it's feeling. I remember a lot of people tried to argue with me that we'd never see a Season 4 for some reason when Season 3 wrapped up, but here we are, we're going to probably keep on getting it, and honestly, last season was amazing. I highly recommend, if you're behind on DanMachi, catch up to it. Season 3 is really, really good, and Season 1 has its moments as well. You have everyone's favorite dumpster fire returning with Rent-a-Girlfriend Season 2. I don't consider Rent-a-Girlfriend to be a quality anime in the sense of it has amazing writing, but it is amazing to watch the dumpster fire of this main male character and the number of harem routes that he can go down, and he just always makes the worst decision. I mean, it's just such a fun watch and fun one to talk about with people, because you know it's bad, but it's like junk food, you can't help yourself. My Isekai Life, I mean, could be something that surprises me in a way of like a Skeleton Knight in Another World, where I thought it was just going to be a fun show to watch, but turned out to actually be really well written. I don't know much about it, but the PV does look rather fun, so I mean, I'm Isekai trash, so you know, I'm probably going to be checking it out at the very least. This Harem in a Labyrinth, I mean, the fact that we're getting 3 versions of it, I think there's like the TV censor version, the not so censored version and the degenerate version, which is just full on whatever. I mean, just reading the synopsis of this one and just, it feels like the most degenerate thing airing this season, or one of them. And holy shit, am I excited to see what they decide to do, because the PV doesn't actually look all that raunchy, but the synopsis gives me the impression that this is gonna be, it might end up in the rent-a-girlfriend category for me, but I'm excited for it nonetheless. Call of the Night is one I'd probably end up watching even if I didn't hear much about it, but the main reason I'm really excited is I've heard a lot of people hype up the source material, so for that reason alone, I'm kind of going in as blind as I would. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's just when I hear Jujutsu Kaisen get hyped up, I never read the manga, but I'm excited to watch it. Call of the Night, I hear a bunch of people talking about it, I'm gonna watch it and probably really enjoy it. And I mean, based on the presentation, it has an interesting art style that definitely caught my eye, so it just really seems like an anime that I'm gonna really enjoy. Black Summoner kind of is in the same category as my Isekai Life, where I'm not sure which spectrum it's going to fall on, dumb fun or fun that's actually quite really well written. It's one of those shows that I could probably see myself talking about week by week, but it really all is kind of based on the quality sort of a thing, so we'll see where this one goes. Doesn't look like the best anime of the season, but it also looks like a mindlessly fun one, and it could be better than that, so only time will tell. Engage Kiss is actually one I had no interest in originally, but then I started digging around this new original A1 Pictures, and based on the PV, it actually looks rather fun with its action, and then like the potential will they, won't they romance. Honestly, there was a moment with the fight scene that kind of reminded me of Off Destiny, which aired a couple seasons back there, so I'm excited to see what Engage Kiss does. If it'll be an okay show this season, or actually one of the surprising sleeper hits potentially, because no one really knows a whole lot about it just yet other than what's been revealed in the promotional trailers. Uncle in Another World is actually one I've been pretty eager about. It's a little bit of a shame that Netflix does have the license, because I don't feel like this is one that's going to get fan subs week by week like you would see with something like a Comey or something like that, but I am excited to watch it whenever we do get official translations, whether that's fan subs or, you know, Netflix drops it. But it does seem like a really wild one, and I have heard the comedy is a hit or a miss for some people. Based on the trailer, it seems like it's up my alley, and it has a really interesting artistic like art and animation choice that almost feels like a blend between manga and anime, and sometimes that's not for me, but based on what I'm seeing so far, I'm really excited for this one. So you have Shadow's House coming out with season 2. Shadow's House actually ended in a pretty interesting way, where they probably could have left it off there and been fine, but there's also an easy way to reverse and carry on with the manga content. And I know there's probably going to be some people worried about like, oh, are we going to get a Promised Neverland treatment where, you know, just completely goes off the rails? Who the hell knows? I'm excited for Shadow's House, but I will say, if it does end up in a Promised Neverland sequence where like people are just absolutely pissed off with it, even if I feel the exact same, I'm just going to ignore Shadow's House at that point. But hopefully it's going to be good, because I thought season 1 was actually one of the best anime when it was airing that season there. I forget how long ago it was, a little less than a year or so, but Shadow's House was great, so of course, you know, I'm going to be excited to watch that one. You have the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, which, I mean, the title alone sells you on watching, at least that's how I feel. This actually seems like probably going to be one of the more good comedies of the season, and I think the premise sometimes within a title, you can just say, oh, it sounds generic, but there's not too many shows out there that can be summed down to the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. So this is one that I'm really hoping sticks a landing, because it just sounds absolutely fun and could be a little violent all at the same time, and you don't get to say that too often with babysitter stories. And this one right here, I'm actually interested just because of the poster image. If you watch any of the little character previews, it doesn't seem like anything other than a slice of life, but the poster makes it seem way more violent potentially, so it kind of seems like maybe it'll be like a slice of life that sometimes gets violent, but then for the most part it's just the day in and day out. So I'm interested just to see what people say about this one, and if it'll get that unexpected hype that everyone then starts binging it, being catching up to it. It could just be an okay show, but it could be one of the surprises, so I'm just kind of keeping my eye on it. Not necessarily going to watch it, but I'm focusing in on it at the very least. But yeah, so this season of anime looking rather good. I think fall will still be the best season overall of the year, but this season is nothing to shy away from. Some of the best returning shows for, you know, it's been 10 years in some cases, so I'm just excited to dive into all the sequels, the new stuff, and see where we go. So let me know what you're excited to watch in this upcoming season, and like I mentioned, look forward over the next few days to see a few extra videos catching up to some shows before their new seasons drop. So thoughts down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Till next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.